Hi
Hello,
there.
Stephanie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you and kind of get your perspective. I don't know if you were like maybe the villain of the show or if you saw yourself like that, but I definitely want to get right into the tea, and I know you will deliver
Yes,
it. So, how are
yes.
you feeling after the finale last night?
I am feeling amazing. I mean, we all knew that Jordan took home the win during real time at the temple. Every dollar in that case, we fought for through the mud. We slung through the trees. We
Mhm.
did what we had to do to fill that case up. And during real time, I wanted Jordan to bankrupt that banker. I
Mhm.
wanted her to take home the most she could. She deserved that win and she got in there. So it was so great to be able to watch that back. And then it was such a surprise that Jordan was holding on to with her upcoming pregnancy. So that was
Mhm.
just the icing on the cake for me as a viewer.
Yeah, I think as a viewer as well, I was really happy with everything just the way that it ended. And I was
Yes.
also really happy that you kept staying in the game, even if the fans were like, Stephanie, Stephanie. I was like, we need Stephanie's energy. And I felt like the rivalry between you and Boston Rob really kept me intrigued all the way up until the finale. Can you kind of talk about just kind of like your vibe on the show and just kind of like the decisions you made and
Oh,
being the player that you were?
it was really tough to take on that role as a villain. Like I was highly aware of what was going on in real time when I first arrived on that island and identified Boston Rob as someone I would be competing probably against because of my acute knowledge of Boston Rob and his legacy and Survivor. I knew that I was not dealing with someone who didn't have incredible skill. I've
Mhm.
said this before and I'll say it again. He's probably one of the greatest competitive reality players of our time. I'll
For
stand
sure.
10 toes down on that. There are a couple others, but to see him in real time, I knew immediately that the nature of myself, I'm not malleable. I'm very difficult to control in that sense. I'm not going to probably ever do what's best for Rob's individual game.
Mhm.
I knew these things moving forward, and I had the benefit of knowing that. And so it became really difficult when season one, episode one, first few minutes in, Rob targets me, asks me a question. To the viewers, it's just a question. To a
Mhm.
gamer, it's can I trust this person? Is this person malleable? Can
We've
I
seen this
control this
show
person?
before.
And I'm not that person. So I was identified from that point onward. And so it was really difficult to be cast into that situation where I had to essentially go head to head with my own game ahead of Rob's because that's how you play. In this
Mhm.
situation, you show up with Boston Rob at the end of the day, you either send that man home or you are giving him the win. And
Mhm.
that's the bottom line. And
Yeah.
I was never willing to play that game. I was never willing to be Claudia Jordan and put my game on the line for him. I was never willing to
Mhm.
be Alyssa and concoct a plan for
Mhm.
him like that. Those things were never going to happen. And
Yeah.
so with those clear and decisive decisions that I made, I was going to be the villain and I sit happily with being the villain.
Yeah, I mean, Rob was once a villain. Maybe he still is to
Hello.
some people. And I really appreciated how you always spoke your mind on the show and you were never afraid to call him out because we did see that a lot with some people. But you did also have a really strong alliance. And I kind of wanted to hear more about the Night Owls and how you put that alliance together and what your ultimate plan was. And because you kind of were in the majority of the alliance for most of the game, even if you had a couple enemies.
Yes, totally. Going into this game, as in most competitive reality spaces, you need an alliance, and
Mhm.
that's period. Okay, you need people that you can trust, people that you can make a plan to build and move forward with. But I knew that I couldn't create an alliance. I needed to be friendly enough and social enough so that people would draw me in to their alliance. And so I would be seen as someone who was a number for them, but
Mhm.
also taking advantage of that piece by protection in numbers, because the more people are in your alliance, the more people aren't directly gunning for you. Essentially, I was really pleased with the alliance. I definitely think that there was fragmentation way sooner than it needed to be. But so is the name of the game. And I was very happy the way that it worked out. I'm still friends with most of the cast, and so there are no hard lines that were crossed that were irredeemable for how the Owls played, but I was very pleased to be a part of them.
Yeah, I love it. There was a little contention between you and Alyssa. It really kind of got to a head. We did talk to Alyssa a few weeks ago on my channel, so I kind of got her side of the story, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of explain or, shed light on anything that happened on the screen that maybe wasn't shown.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a couple of instances that were not shown, but essentially, I think what the viewers can relate to is that the foundation of trust was unable to be built with Alyssa and I. So if you don't have that foundation of trust and one that is built on Alyssa's desire to, protect people other than me, it doesn't serve me to be able to move forward with you. And so to that end, more specifically, when Rob made it pretty much widespread that Kim, Kim was the biggest threat, I knew I was in trouble. I was like, oh, wow. So everyone is looking at all of the available options and they're going to say, yeah, Kim, dangerous. Kim needs to
Mhm.
go. The reason Kim needed to go is because Kim had insider knowledge on how Rob moves ahead in this game. And
Mhm.
that's why Branson was targeted. That's why Kim was targeted. And Alyssa wanted me to take part in that. If I took part in that, that would be me co-signing that I am going to do what it takes to move Rob ahead in this game. And
Mhm.
I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to do what I have to take to move me ahead in this game.
Mhm.
And so that is where the fragmentation occurred. Alyssa, I did use strong words such as snake and rat and that is because she did do some snake-like things and that were outside of the game or things that didn't necessarily need to be deleterious about, but affected me. And so
Mhm.
as a result, you're going to get backlash on that. I'm unhappy with that.
Yeah, for
The same
sure.
way, so like one of the things, for example, is she probably talked about, as she did before, is there was an excursion, and this was an unseen piece where my tag of one of my cases hit the ground and it fell off. This wasn't part of the game. Um, it just was happenstance when my case was chopped down from the tree and I couldn't find my tag. I go up to Alyssa where she's waiting. She has her tag and she's hiding it from me.
Mhm.
It's all in a game. That's totally fine. But now our foundation of trust is irreparable. So
Mhm.
now you've tried to create a scheme to get one of my allies out. You've purposely hid a tag from me so that I wouldn't be able to move forward in my game. And then finally,
Mhm.
at the temple, you want to incite the people to not help me out. People, creating a bad environment when again, I just want to be able to play my game.
Mhm.
And so she got the smoke she deserved. And I don't feel bad about that. I
Okay.
mean,
Period.
yeah, so people can look at that however they want, but we are unable to form a foundation of trust. And you need that in this game. You need
Yeah.
trust and you need luck. And
Mhm.
those who found me to be trustworthy, I was able to move forward with. And those who found me to be untrustworthy, as you can see, found it more difficult to trust me. And that's
Mhm.
what happens when you play these games.
Yeah.
She just happened to get eliminated first.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's no one can deny you did not play, you played a really strong game. And I think that's why you made it as far as you did. Can you kind
mhm.
of talk about the moment when you revealed your case and it was lowest and then you found
Oh,
out you were going home and then it was
yes.
Amy and, Jordan going to the two? What was that like?
It was a double-edged sword because physicalities is not my thing. I don't do maps. I'm terrible at numbers. I went in this game knowing that I would have to rely on my social prowess to be able to
Hmm.
move forward, my social capital. So having to run through that maze, are you kidding me? Like I run to the refrigerator, maybe, like
And
I don't do that.
even that's
And
hard when you're like laying down, like,
like what? I
yeah.
couldn't imagine. So to have made it first of all, to have figured out that math without
Hmm.
cheating,
Yeah.
okay? To have made looked at this map, which I don't know what you're talking about, to have even kept up with Jordan in the maze for as long as I did, by the time I came out of there and was second, I was proud of myself because I controlled what I could. And
Hmm.
what I couldn't control was the fact that it was a bum luck. Whatever's in the case was gonna be in there. But what I knew for certain in that maze is that I was getting out of there. I wasn't gonna be last. I knew
Hmm.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't know a lot of other things, but my sheer determination told me that I wasn't coming out of there last. The rest of it was luck, and you
Yeah.
can't control that. So I was happy to see that it was Jordan and Amy.
Hmm.
I was rooting for both of them. I love women. I care for women. I trust women wholeheartedly. And, be that as it may, it's a hard space to be in, competitive
Hmm.
reality as a woman. And those two did it. And us three, we did it. So
Hmm.
I was proud and to stand by these two strong women. And yeah, it was nothing but good vibes. And I was super proud of them.
I love it. That's amazing. Thank you. Was that
Yeah.
iced tea really that good?
No. Okay, first of all, let me tell you,
Please.
because we were in an island that would be considered like a third world country, although the banker did have, two-ply toilet paper, like we was in glam,
Hmm.
but you couldn't have ice because the water wasn't safe to drink. And so 8 times out of 10, the iced tea was a little bit warmer than I would have liked. And I live in Alabama. Y'all don't know sweet tea,
Mm.
like Alabama sweet tea. Theirs was like LA sweet tea, like a little judge. I like my sweet
Mhm.
and heavy and tea like. And so I don't know about that Lipton stuff, whatever. Um, but it was good when you're famished and you're thirsty. It does the trick, but definitely could have used a shot of vodka, I bet.
Well, I mean, if I was going to ask anyone about the tea, it was going to be Stephanie in both ways. So thank you so much for your time. I really
Yes.
loved watching you on the show, and
Thank you.
congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.